Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, with another spooky movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's staying at a cabin in the woods with me tonight?
I am Tiffany Albertin. Yeah, that's all I got.
Hey, it's everybody's favorite blonde bimbo with big breasts, Kenneth Sanity.
and I am the boss of my own brain, so give it up, Mr. Bill Tucker from A Gamer Looks at 40.
And welcome back as always.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And this is a Patreon-backed episode, or Patreon-chosen episode, I think is the right term to probably use. Because we had a vote poll, and people voted for Cabin in the Woods, which I was okay with, because this is the one I wanted to win, so...
And you helped it along, didn't you?
I did, of course I did.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember what I voted for.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, what else was being voted for here? Because
What was my movie on? What was my movie? Troll, I think.
I don't even remember what people had, but I'm going to pull it up right now.
A very obscure movie that nobody knows about.
I'm okay with that.
No, I know about that movie.
Hey, that was my childhood scary movie. Don't.
It was Cabin in the Woods, The Mist, Troll, and Midsummer. And people did vote one for Mist and Troll. Nobody voted for Midsummer.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
I want to watch it now. I saw that there's a meme going around of Florence Pugh surrounded by flowers with a very sad face, and I'm just like, I'm curious.
Oh,
It's delightful. It's delightful.
Yeah,
it's outside.
Saying we need to watch.
Yeah, it's great. What do you, Kenneth? Do you agree? It's outside. It's summery.
100%. It's like full daylight. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I do want to watch it, though.
The bloodshed happens and the grass turns red.
I don't know what bloodshed you're talking about.
I feel like I'm not far off.
No, I know she dies terribly. I'm pretty sure. So.
And the body parts fly, and
No.
he's like, yeah, pretty much.
One day, I do really want to watch it. I keep seeing, especially now that the new Silent Hill thing is coming out, I keep seeing memes of it. I'm like, I should watch this movie for the show one day.
Really? You're not a scary movie type.
No, but I'm a podcaster. That's all I got. All right, so we're here to talk about 2012's Cabin in the Woods, directed by Drew Goddard and written by Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard. That's why there's so many freaking Joss Whedon people in this.
I didn't know that.
I thought he directed. I'm like, oh, good, his name's not on there. Whew, okay, and then I'm like, oh shit.
You wrote it. That's why.
Well, because there's a lot of actors from Buffy and Angel and Dollhouse that are in this show or in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of ties between the two. And honestly, it's funny. Firstly, I am amazed that this is a 10-year-old movie at this point. That this came out in 2012.
Still holds up.
Sure, but I mean, it's just, if you had asked me if this was an old movie, like, oh no, it's like 5 years old or so. I think a few years back.
I didn't think it was that old.
No,
surprise.
Yeah, surprise. And I know nothing about Buffy or Angel or any of that stuff. My wife does.
What is wrong with you? That's it.
I don't know. I wasn't into it back in those days. My wife was really into it. So I don't know. I didn't catch all those connections, but after reading about it, I'm like, oh wow, okay. So clearly he just got his buddy together and we'll make this movie. Yeah. This movie is not as Wheaton-y as other things I've seen from him. We'll get into how we feel about it. I didn't feel, at least. I felt it was a little more integrated into characters. It's building good characters and the humor coming from them as opposed to shoving them down your throat, whips and such.
I'll agree with that.
It didn't have all the Wheaton vibes to it.
No.
I can agree. Yeah, it doesn't have all like the quip. I mean, there's some quippy stuff, but it's not as the way his stuff normally is. But maybe
except for the fact that it really treats women badly. That's very much a Wheaton.
Well,
yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they labeled the characters as a whore, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the virgin. So.
Who I'm okay with because it was male, so that's fine.
I have thoughts about that, though.
Okay, I want to hear that.
Are you
No.
I don't think that they got the characters right, which is why I think they failed.
Oh, so go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you not like this then, Ken? So what's your take on it?
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. Let me clear my throat here, because first off, this movie went through some hell to get made. This was during the time when MGM was starting to just fall apart. And it took a while for this to even come out. Trying to find it right now.
So my memory was right, because I remember I had a vague memory from 2012 when I went and saw it with a friend of mine who told me that this movie was, put in the can for a while, and then Thor came out, so then Thor was going to come out, so Chris Hemsworth.
You saw it in theaters?
Yeah, it was all in theaters. What?
Nothing.
Yeah, so it finished filming in May of 2019. Or 2009, I'm sorry.
I was like, what?
2000.
Time travel.
Oh, dun dun.
No, it was supposed to be released February 5th, 2010. But because MGM kind of went shithouse, it didn't actually get released until April 13th, 2012.
When did Thor come out?
I'm sure Thor helped that too.
Probably. Because Iron Man was 2008, right?
Yeah, Thor wasn't that long. No, 2000.
Wasn't.
Yeah, it's 08.
Yeah, 2008. So I figure Thor would probably be a couple of years after that. So, but right in that time, though, where
2011.
Okay, so yeah, it's a little after this then. Yeah.
And that's how he got big.
Well, yeah, that's how he really kind of superstarred. But yeah, the release of this was pretty fraught with delays and studios sitting on things and such, and it's a pretty interesting read. I didn't read up on it too much, but
How
so
did
Ken,
it do
go ahead.
money-wise?
Money-wise, it did fine. Like, its budget was 30, and it took in 66.5.
Oh, not too bad then.
Like, it's fine.
It broke even. I think that's how. Don't they want at least 3 times the amount or something?
Yeah, if there was any money spent on marketing, they do. But I don't remember this movie being marketed at all.
I don't remember this movie at all.
I remember people I trust really, really liking it. Like really kind of being a little over the moon. And I just, for some reason, again, never saw. So this is the first time I've actually seen it. It's in its entirety. But so Ken, I do want to go back to you though. So do you like this movie? Do you dislike? Are you on the fence? Because it sounds like you have issues with it.
I have issues, but overall, I enjoy it. It feels more like a Drew Goddard story than a Joss Whedon story.
I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Drew Goddard, who, wrote movies such as Cloverfield and Bad Times at the El Royale, and did a lot of work on Lost, and was the showrunner of Marvel's Daredevil on the Netflix.
Oh, now you have my attention.
Yeah, like, he's done a lot. He also wrote World War Z. You guys remember that movie with Brad Pitt?
It's okay.
Sure do.
It was fun.
I saw it.
It is a film that exists in this world.
It's
okay.
Fine.
But, like, it doesn't... You were right when you were saying it doesn't feel like it's trying to be so hip that it's trying to shove itself down your throat.
Which is nice.
That's what Joss Whedon would do. Oh!
I
know, after
you're not a fan. Yeah, go ahead,
everything
sorry.
came out about him. It's different to go back to some of his stuff. Like,
Even stylistically, though, yeah. Go ahead, Ken.
No. I'm just agreeing that fuck him.
yeah,
Screw that guy. Yeah.
you can kind of see it once you know what kind of person he was. You can see certain things in his work that's like, oh, okay, now I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that wasn't just a coincidence, or that wasn't just a style thing. That was how he felt or how he thought, and that's why certain shit happened.
Yeah, and it bleeds into the work quite a bit. And it also, the thing with Joss Whedon is that he is so dated. Like, that style of humor is very dated, which is surprising for how, when you figure, your Avengers was, again, only maybe 10 years ago, 11 years ago. It's extraordinarily dated. Like, you're not really seeing that style anymore. Very quippy, out of context, kind of humor because you need to have something funny in the scene or in the moment. And this movie does not have that vibe. I really like this. This is my first time seeing it. And actually, I am a patron of the Gamers Week podcast. And so they were having a movie night, a Discord movie night, where one of them streams a movie and everyone gets into chat and chit-chat and watch a movie. And they were showing Cabin in the Woods on Friday. So I'm like, hey, this is perfect. So I jumped in maybe a third of the way through, which I don't like doing that, but it was convenient. And then I watched the way through, and then I then watched the beginning. I watched up till the point where I came on. So I kind of saw it out of order. But this is a movie that I knew enough about ahead of time. Like, I kind of knew the conceit, the little trick of, the corporation and the business and all that stuff. I kind of knew about
anything. Mike wouldn't tell me anything.
That's good. That's the best way to see this. This movie was kind of inescapable in my circles when this was out, right? So it was kind of like I was quote unquote spoiled, but
okay. I know when I saw this in 2012, I had no idea what we were going to go see. My friend's like, "Hey, let's go see this movie." I'm like, "Okay, I got nothing else to do, so let's go see this movie."
Were you like screaming and?
No, I no, but like that. So when Tiff watched this, I didn't want her to know anything. So she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Just watch the damn movie." I'm like, "Don't."
No, tell me right now. I need to know.
But I think that's part of the charm of this movie is that like you have these scenes very early on where you just see these random corporate office guys just coming into work and just talking and like you don't care. And it's very much about that. It jumps and then it jumps to the kids and it kind of just goes back and forth. Maybe not kids, but the college kids. Sure. I don't know. I don't like saying kids. It doesn't feel like they're kids, but you have bouncing between the two different groups early on. And it's like you don't really understand what's happening. I think that what's so cool about it too.
Yeah, I think this movie I really liked it. I really really enjoyed it. I feel like I have a weird ability to sometimes separate the artist from the art. Even though of course Joss Whedon is a complete and total douchewagon and he stinks and he can just be done. Not on the die or anything, but just not be around anymore. That's fine. Just retreat somewhere. But I really did enjoy this, and I think if you're going to do a movie of this type, you need to do both things well. You need to do the satire and the send up. They also do the horror bit just as well. And the fact that they were able to hit both shots really makes this work beautifully, because if the horror wasn't any good, if it wasn't tense, if it wasn't well acted, well, not well acted, but if it wasn't purposely poorly acted, or if the scares weren't there, the grossness wasn't there, the violence wasn't there in a well-crafted way, this would have fell on its face immediately.
Yeah.
Because I think horror fans a little bit more than others really, because they spend so much time suspending disbelief. We know when something sucks. Like we can just tell. Like this isn't working, and I think horror fans are a hard group to please. So I think this really did a great job in both aspects.
I agree, because I'm a horror movie snob, but I really really enjoyed it.
Which makes me happy to hear. I was glad to introduce you to something different that you hadn't seen, and I actually have seen, which is very odd.
It's super strange, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, and early on, there's a joke that I did not catch, but Tiff did when you're seeing like the blonde and everybody, and then when Thor first shows up, because that's how I'm going to refer to him this entire movie. Mm-hmm. I don't even know the name of the character, just Thor. And
Chris Hemsworth, you can say that.
Yeah, Thor. And I forget, they made some kind of comment about I saw it because of you, and I'm
he was like, "Where'd you get these?" He had the book. What are you doing with these? I learned it from you. Did anybody get that reference besides me?
Oh, I remember the anti-drug commercial.
Of course.
I had to Google it because I was like, "Where's that from?" And then I just cracked up, and my kid
nope.
And I had to show him the commercial, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
I am the youngest out of the four of us, so
whatever.
That's why.
You're a baby. Get that out of here. I won't talk to you anymore.
Okay, because I didn't know what that was until she said it, but then I'm like, "Oh, okay,
really?"
Yeah.
No, he did. And I recognized it, but I can't remember where I recognized it from.
I hate all that stupid dare stuff and all the stupid anti-drug
I learned it from
propaganda crap.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
other propaganda.
My elementary school was rife with that with those warnings. It's like, I'm 8. That's fine. I'm not going to do anything.
So you're going to introduce me to drugs.
Yes.
And tell me to stay away from them.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, no, I think this open is really good. Obviously, we kind of, obviously the two employees of the corporation. It's an odd start, but it's very ineffectual. They're not really talking about much. They're just blabbing on about, I think, kids and something else. It's an entertaining conversation, and it sets the tone pretty well. And then when we get to this shot of Redhead, I guess you call her Redhead, right? I don't remember anyone's name.
That's what I called her, Redhead.
You can just call her Dana.
She's
Dana, right? Is that the character's name? Dana? I thought so. I didn't hear until okay. So Dana, of course, in her underwear, Because everyone, when you're cleaning the house, Mike Albertin, and you can just let this fly. You've been on the show. You've been doing the show for years and years now. Aren't you in your underwear, just walking around?
I am
He's
actually.
always in his underwear. So
I was not looking for a real answer, sir.
Yes, I am actually.
He's
Yes.
always in his underwear. Right now,
Well,
he actually isn't, but he's always in his
Uh-huh.
underwear.
Well,
You're like, I didn't need to know that.
I was just trying to set up for a joke. Unless
But also, nobody's coming over when I'm doing it either. So
well, I'm glad you're free and clear like that. You and Dana are people of a similar ilk, and all of this stuff is so classic horror movie trope, and it feels familiar. And Ken, I'll let you jump in on like this open, kind of this soft open here. It feels familiar, but still kind of new because it's it's a movie and you're introducing to characters, and it feels cheesy and wrong, but it feels kind of right. I mean, this is the kind of thing I expect from this type of movie. So when those
starts out very cookie cutter, I guess.
yeah, but kind of good though. In a good
like
way.
you're expecting all these. I mean, you're not wrong. Every horror movie has those certain characters, and that's what we see. That's what we expect.
Every certain type of horror movie has those characters. Like
Right.
it's not saying, these are all horror tropes that deserve to, whatever, we're going to make fun of them. But there's a very specific kind of horror movie that this is lampooning, and it does so really well. Going back to like the actual beginning before the title card with the two office workers, look, I'm just going to come out and say it. Hadley and Citizen are the best characters in this entire movie.
Yeah. Yes.
They're absolutely the best. I want to spend more time with them. Fuck them kids. I want more Hadley. They're the best.
Was
I can agree with that.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, was I the only person really rooting for the corporation to succeed and just get rid of these dingbats?
no, I was.
No, I kind of was like, I was curious about the other countries. I was like, what is going on right now? They're like, oh, Japan, what is going on over there?
Yeah, Japan fucking whiffed it, man.
And
Jesus.
then they come back to these schoolgirls. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
I want to know what happened in Sweden. I want to know what happened in Spain.
Yeah, they really didn't show. It was just fail. And I'm like, okay, so what happened?
I also root for the corporation because I like to look at things a lot. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one type of idea.
Great. Well, I see how I land on your scale. Sorry, cats, you're all gonna die.
But that's sometimes how I like to think of things. But no, I was the same with that because I mean, what they're doing a job, and they're doing the job for a reason to protect the world. You just don't know that until the movie progresses. Why they're doing it.
So, like, going back to the open where we meet Dana and we meet Jules and we meet Kurt, who is Chris Hemsworth. We also meet their new friend Holden, who is played by the absolutely gorgeous Jesse Williams. Oh my God, he is so fucking cute in this movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And their stoner friend, what the fuck is his name? Marty.
I like him. I like him a lot.
I don't think
he's a good character, but I was like, he's just gonna be stoned through the whole movie, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, hot take. I'm full of hot takes today, y'all.
Get at it.
Marty's not the fool. Marty's the virgin.
Huh.
They made a point when he and Jules were talking about how they used to go out. They made a point to make sure that he says, "Oh, we only made out once."
Okay.
But didn't she say something about being on top of him?
No, I mean,
like they're close.
Well, I swear she said something about I used to be on top of you. You liked it like that. Swear to God she did. Maybe I made that part up.
Well, even so, like right after that, that's when he said, like, "Oh, we only made out."
that's an interesting theory. That's an interesting theory. I don't have a counter to that because again, it's not really in the text of the movie. But I think it's an interesting theory. Yeah.
How do they prove these people are virgins? They stalk them? Like
Close enough. They say it. Close
I mean,
enough.
it was all set up. Like, there's near the end of the movie, they make a comment. They're like, Kurt doesn't even have a cousin. Because the whole time he's like, yeah, my cousin bought this place. My cousin. And he's like, you don't have a cousin.
And they both were like, oh, he
and
doesn't
conversely,
have a cousin.
Dana's the fool because Dana's the one who decided it would be a good idea to date her professor. Even
Okay.
though it wasn't going to work out.
What do you mean
Kurt.
this wouldn't work out? I forget that.
Kurt is not the jock. Kurt is the scholar. Because
Yes.
Kurt's the one telling Dana to get, don't read this book about Russian economic progress. Read this one because the professor doesn't know it by heart and you're going to seem awesome. And Holden is the one that's like, catching the ball and running around.
Yeah, I agree with that one. So the blonde
No,
is really the whore, is that what you're saying?
I think there's no way around that one, unfortunately.
She shows everybody her titties, okay?
He made out with a wolf.
Yeah,
She made out, I forgot about that.
That's a good scene, though.
I was like, what is happening right now?
I really like that scene. I don't know why, but I'm like, this is cool. I got nothing.
A lot of those scenes, we'll get to them. A lot of those scenes were in the first third, which I did not see on the stream on Discord. And my wife was sitting literally right next to me. And I'm like, okay, I just have to skip past those. Because it's very uncomfortable to watch that, next to your life partner. You're like, oh, see, yeah, this I don't know how old person is going to be dancing around in front of a fire and then making out with a wolf head. Like, I think I know what's going on here. You can just scrub that.
Well, she was under the were they doing the pheromones?
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure she was not. I think she just did that by herself.
I know they weren't pumping stuff into the house the entire time they're there. I think
They were pumping stuff into the house, but not at this point. This was more for
that was just she's the whore, remember?
They had said that they were messing with that. They put chemicals in her hair dye.
Right. That's right.
So I'm pretty sure.
Right. She dyed her hair blonde. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it was drugged by the corporation.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that makes sense because this corporation essentially is a government-run, facility.
I think it's extra governmental. I don't think it's the government. I think it's very much outside.
Above, because one of the guys, the new guys, he's like, you're ex-military and this and that, or he was in the military and transferred over.
Like Men in Black shit.
Yes.
An agency, if anything else, yeah. Like a Men in Black, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep.
But no, that's a good theory. I like that. That
I do like
sense.
it. Yeah,
and they were stupid and were pulling the thing where they didn't even know who was who. They're like, oh yeah, okay, we just labeled whatever. Like their whole plan was just have everybody killed, so it didn't matter.
But so my question is, do they have to die in a certain order?
No. The order doesn't matter as long as the version's at the end, and they can either live or die.
Okay.
They just have to be the last one. And this whole arcane ritual that Citizen Hadley and their organization are putting on basically fits the loosely defined tropes of most slasher movies or B-grade horror movies.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, yeah, there are so many of these movies, but maybe we're just watching a video recording of the times where, we actually succeeded in keeping the monsters down.
I like that.
I like that too.
These aren't hot takes. These are thoughtful mediations on this on our fun slasher comedy movie. I think these are really thought provoking, to be honest. Yeah.
This is why you get somebody with a film studies degree on your podcast.
Yes. There we go. That's it.
But you didn't tell me that.
I did not know.
Now I don't think I have any input.
Yes, you
do.
One thing that made me crack up for some reason is when you have the gas station guy who's all weird and spouting all the apocalyptic crap.
Malachi, no, weird. This is Malachi from the Children of the Corn. He's just all grown up now, and he works for the government. I am telling you, my conspiracy theory.
I like him, but I really love the part when he's controlling. He's like, "I'm on speakerphone." No, you're not. It's just slip.
Start laughing.
That was great. That is just such a humor moment to kind of cover up all the terribleness that's going to be happening, but it's hilarious.
Not like speakerphones. He's used to the Children of the Corn. Okay?
It was just hilarious. He's like, "Well, I'm on speakerphone, aren't I?" "Oh, yes, you are. We can't help it." It was just, I love that part so much.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that was one of the few parts for me that really leaned to the Wheaton side of the world. If this movie was on a pendulum, right? Or maybe on a pivot, balancing. This one started tipping on the Wheaton side quite a bit. It's okay, we get it. We get it. Thank you, screenwriters. Okay. It was cute. It's cute for a second. But I agree. It was a neat little gag.
But was that like little scene necessary? Just like
Yes,
yeah, he's like yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Just for entertainment value, or
Just to kind of like trick the viewer in a way too, because they really at this point you have no idea what's going on. You don't understand. I mean, you shortly around this part you see them watching them on camera when they get to the cabin. Like you have little things but you still have no idea what's really coming. Like
that helps you figure it out.
No, but I think
in the Bible.
I think it helped make it seem more comedic and less threatening than what's coming. Because you wouldn't expect all of a sudden.
No, I like Malachi.
Zombies are going to start coming out of the ground and all these weird monsters are in cubes. Like you wouldn't expect that.
I bet on it. That was one of my favorite parts.
It's pretty great.
Oh, that's gallows humor for you right there. I mean, you're literally facing down the potential end of the world. So yeah, fucking
and the
get that.
military guy was just like, "The fuck is going on?" We're all betting.
Hey, they had a job to do. Save the world. They just have to kill people for it.
Make a little extra money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, why not?
Maintenance wins again.
And it's actually a neat little abstraction of the job they have to do, and everyone knows what they're doing and what the stakes are. Right? This is like an inevitable thing. Like they can't, as they've said multiple times in the movie, they can't fail at this, or else the ancients rise up, and a giant hand spits out of the world, and boom, we're all doomed. And so I could actually see that, right? As a like you said, Ken, like a gallows humor, or where it's just like, this is our job. And our job involves 5 people dying so that billions of people can live. And it's just a gig, right? So it's kind of like the Super Bowl pool where people are putting in, and it's
lose today. Sorry, guys, you gotta die.
Oh man, I feel so bad for Hadley. Just wanted them in so bad.
I love how there's an ongoing joke. He's like, like you said, the merman. He's like, I want to see the merman.
But
I like
how
that
does
too.
that work in a forest? He like crawls from where does he come from?
My guess is they would try to herd him to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did herd him to the water.
Yeah, they were swimming at one part.
Oh, that's right.
Raven's like, I think I see my girlfriend in the pool in the lake.
That's not an ocean.
You don't need an ocean.
Merman lives in.
Not these mermen.
Maybe it's a freshwater merman. You don't know.
I guess not. He's gonna be part pike or something.
I just love all that ongoing joke about I want to see the merman. I just because they pay it off.
Oh, really? Come on now.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
It's such a good intro with everything. Like you get in the cabin, you have is it 2-way mirror or 1-way mirror, however you want to call that? I don't know the correct term for that.
It's a 2-way mirror. Yeah, I think is that right? With derp? Yeah, 2-way mirror. Yes.
Decent thing. I give him credit for that.
I think it's hilarious that they have her, which also goes to Ken's theory because they have her checking him out, and then she's got to walk away.
Oh, I checked him out too. Come on,
How
baby,
could you
take it off?
How could you not? Listen.
It also goes to Ken's theory that neither one are a virgin in this case.
So she puts the towel over, right? Or no, the picture over the mirror.
Yeah.
And it's like all these things eating people, and I'm like, you'd rather look at the picture than look at a hot guy taking his shirt off.
And then his pants.
And then his pants. I'm so confused right now.
Now, see, I would like to believe that Drew Goddard wrote this part because this is somebody who understands about consent.
Yes, I get it. But I would have turned away when he took his pants off. Come on now. Just watch the shirt. Just see those pretty abs and drool and then turn away. Like.
But no, I agree with Ken. Otherwise, it would have been a little. They wouldn't have switched rooms. It was Whedon only writing it, I bet. And then one thing we haven't mentioned is throughout this whole part of this movie, you have the stoner guy is constantly smoking. I did laugh my ass off when
I told you it's going to be high the entire movie.
Okay, smart. When he has the mug or the bong that then he puts and makes it look like a mug. I laughed my ass off at that.
It was good. It was very good. Yeah,
that was functional, actually.
It was very functional.
And it fits. Stoners use random things as bongs. I had a guy a friend of mine, like he's like, I can smoke an apple if you want to see it, and it worked. He did. He smoked with an apple.
Oh,
everybody learned that in high school.
I didn't try it. That was before it was legal in the state.
I want to just state very quickly that Ducks in Disguise, who is a friend of my show, and he was in that group, the Ducks in Disguise on Twitter, dubbed the stoner guy as Wish.com Shaggy. And I've been laughing about that since Friday.
I said something similar. So.
I wanted to. I didn't want to make the joke and not credit the original author. So
I said it was the whole Scooby gang, but then that left the scholar to be Scooby, so I nixed that super fast. I felt that was very wrong.
Hey now.
And then you have them partying, which I think it's funny. Like, the whole idea is that, because they make this comment throughout the movie where they're like, they have to do all this themselves. They make the choice to go past the gas station guy. They make their choice to come here. They make their choice when the cellar door opens to go into the cellar instead of just closing it. I mean, partly they are pumping chemicals into there to make them do that, but I love the stoners like, maybe we shouldn't go down there, guys. So I thought I really like that, and I love how the whole idea is that since he's smoking weed, the weed is making him, not susceptible to their drugs.
Well, see, the thing is, they thought they dosed his weed.
Yeah,
right. Yep.
They said they laced it with something.
Oh.
But then didn't they mention that he smoked so much he became immune to it or something?
That very well could be.
I thought there was a line in there that said that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If there's not, there should be. Tolerance is a real thing that does build up over time.
It is.
But it's just good. And I did find amusing that they have Dana, the redhead, go down to the cellar first. I think, they dare her.
Yeah.
That's right.
All the things you could dare someone, much sexier things, and go in the cellar. Oh.
She's a virgin.
Sure.
Remember?
But she makes comments like, I'm not a virgin near the end. They're like, well, we work what we have to. Again, I still go with, I like Ken's theory now better.
I do too. The fool's the virgin.
And this is also a slasher film where it's nothing but characters making dumb decisions that everyone at home is going, no, don't do that. I know what I'm watching.
I was
well
looking
aware.
at the screen the whole time.
Because I've been in a little cabin somewhere, and if there was solid would have popped up, I wouldn't have went in there. I can tell you that for sure. Even before this movie, I've been like, no, I'm good.
Michael, go figure it out.
We'll close that, and we'll go to a bookcase on top of it. We'll be good.
Michael, go see.
I really like the idea is you have them going into the basement, and they're all different things, and they get to choose what will be their murderer, essentially. And I think that's such a cool idea.
So everybody always chooses the zombies. They pick up that certain item that...
Well, depending on what you pick up, like the conch shell that Thor almost...
No, but they say the maintenance people win every year.
No, they said the maintenance people vote for the same thing every year, but they never... This is the first time they won. They just always vote for the same thing.
And why they say the maintenance wins again?
Oh, maybe they did. I don't know.
Well, it's again, that's more of like an office kind of joke where the maintenance department wins every single time because they get there first and vote, and they know. It's kind of like if you're at like I did this once. I was at a Super Bowl party, and they had a little pool on what's the first, who's gonna win the first, who's got the first touchdown, who's gonna get the first this and that. And one of them was, what's the first commercial gonna be? And I said car. Yeah. And sure enough, I won because there's like nothing but car commercials during football games.
Fair.
So it's kind of like they know they knew the obvious one. They've been doing it forever. And they probably it's always this. So of course we're gonna just pick this and win our yearly pool money.
I was really hoping for Fornicus.
Is that the guy with the blades on his head?
Yeah, that was the Hellraiser light version.
Yeah, I was like, he reminds me of Pinhead. Without the pins, but still.
Yeah, like that's essentially what it was.
Yeah, he just had claw blades on his face.
I liked it. I thought it looked cool.
I liked it.
It was definitely a cool look, and I liked the little round ball with the little puzzle ball.
Yeah.
Instead of the puzzle box, like it's fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I think I agree. I like the fact that they get to choose their own torment, their own nightmares, and they choose a standard old zombie family.
Redneck torture family.
That was it. Redneck torture family. Gotcha.
Because remember, they're different from the zombies.
Which we see the zombies later.
Because the intern picks zombies, but he doesn't win.
Yeah.
That's right. Intern should know better.
Well, he's an intern. It's probably his first go round.
This is true. I mean, it's probably in the manual somewhere. Like, here's the types. You probably didn't read the entire orientation.
Gotta be specific on what kind of zombies you want.
Probably not. Fucking interns. So
that's part of the humor.
They make the choice. They get the redneck torture family. They read out the Latin phrase because that's always a good idea.
Sure. Good. Yeah. I don't know the language, but why not? It sounds cool coming out of my
But
mouth.
I can read it really well and speak it. I don't know the language.
My only issue is there was no something like that. They get the joke, I'm assuming.
I don't. Okay.
I can't remember the words. It's an Evil Dead joke. Your Army of Darkness joke.
Yeah, classic Barata.
Because you can't remember the last word.
Sorry, I whiffed on that one. But
It doesn't work at all. It's like, do not pick up the book unless you say these words. Oh, and he coughs, and then he picks up the book, and all the zombies get up. He's like, oh, I gotta go. So no, it does not. I really like that.
Anyway.
Thank you, please.
Moving on.
See, so yeah. So, you also have Thor picks up the thing for the merman and doesn't do it right before.
Yeah, the conch shell. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you see the zombies rise up.
Poor Hadley. He wanted it. He was so close.
Just right there.
No.
Come on, merman.
And
again,
I put in my notes, girl being sexy. Was in my notes. I think this is the part where they go outside, which again, I don't know why they went outside to have sex.
I was screaming at the screen then. I was like, no, why? You're going to get things in places you don't want. Like,
that's where the pheromone mist comes in.
Now, did anyone think, because that was before, obviously, that was all after the wolf kiss and the strippy dance and all that stuff, right? Did anyone else, again, I found it off-putting because, again, I'm sitting next to my wife, literally 6 feet away. And just, I don't know, for me, that's a personal thing. It's just uncomfortable. I just get, but I felt like it dragged on. Like it just went on.
Too much.
And on.
That's how you know it was a Joss Whedon joint.
Right, exactly. Joss Whedon has no sense of restraint in any part of his life, much more including filmmaking. Because
we didn't really need to see her boobs. She could have been wearing a bra.
Look,
it's a slasher film, so you got it.
Yeah, I guess. So we always got to see some of these boobs.
And like they even mentioned that, like the army guys, like, do we really have to see her stuff? And Hadley's like, hey, we're not the only ones watching. The audience knows what they want to see, which is
show us, yes.
80s slasher movie.
Yeah. And is that the scene where like there's a group of people like standing there, like just watching? There's like 20 people watching, and after a while he's like, all right, come on, get back to work. Let's go. Come on. All right, show's over.
Yep.
Show's over. Now she's gonna get killed.
And she does get killed pretty horrible too.
Oh, she does.
The good kill. It's really good.
It's really good.
I mean, they grab her and then they grab a saw and like cut off her head while Thor watches.
Well, they like throw a bear trap or something at her and drag her.
They catch her with a bear trap. Okay, that just seems horrible to have a bear trap on a chain.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
Torture Family,
Torture Family, remember?
Yep.
It's so great. The Buckners, give it up. Hey, did you recognize the girl, the one without the arm?
For Halloween.
What were you saying, Ken?
Sorry, go ahead.
Did you recognize Patience Buckner, the girl without the arm?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That was Jodelle Ferland.
She even references it. It's the girl without the arm. It's Patience.
Oh, okay.
But the actress that plays her plays Sharon in Silent Hill, the little girl.
Oh, I did not.
Wow.
I didn't catch that.
Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
So there's
anything about that movie.
No, I don't
this
remember
morning.
anything.
Good job.
And I think this is around the time you have the stoner explains everything right before all this happens, and I like it where he's in the cabin and he hears the voices, go outside. He's like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to go outside.
I'm going to take a walk.
I'm going to go read something with pictures. I laughed at that part.
Pictures.
Oh, it was good.
The character of Marty really pissed me off this time around. I don't know why. I just wanted to punch him in his face this entire movie.
I really liked him.
And Marty's stoner guy?
Yeah.
I really like that character. I think I'm also realizing that had weed been legal a long time ago, I'd be a stoner. I have the strange idea because I really like edibles now that it's legal here.
I mean,
so
I couldn't see you smoking.
No, I wouldn't smoke. I would just eat. I have no problem eating part. I have no interest in smoking anything. But
and then we'd have a problem because you'd eat even more.
Yeah, but I could just see it. I could see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
Just dropping him into your Cheerios and milk for breakfast, just kind of stirring around like, hey,
I forget it was a few days or no, a couple weeks ago. I had some edibles. We were watching God, oh yeah, don't watch true crime while eating edibles. I found out.
Why?
Because I was really weirded out by it. More than normal.
Giggling, wasn't I?
Yeah, that's a really weird thing. We were watching a thing about.
I thought it was hilarious.
About either Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy while we were high, and I'm like, this is interesting. Let's not do this again.
And then he had nightmares for baby.
I did, just like Harry Mason. Is there Harry Mason or Henry? What the hell is his name?
Henry Townsend was the guy from Silent Hill 4.
That's what I'm referencing. I have nightmares. I'm not worried about it. I can't leave my apartment. I'm having nightmares. Oh no, what's wrong here? Okay,
it's interesting. I will. Let me just real quick, Ken. I actually kind of agree with you on Marty, but I have an aversion to the stoner character. I never like that in movies, full stop, because I think they're rarely done well because they're usually just there for either cheap laughs or to kind of bumble around and be the stoner guy. And so when he was about to get killed, I was kind of like, oh, okay, good. All right, great. Well, that's good. But I really like the fact that this movie made him very capable. And he's the only one that figured it out early. He finds the camera, like he knows something is up. And it's not due to the fact that he's baked, but it's really because he's actually capable. So I like how this movie treats Marty, but I had an initial aversion to him, Ken, because I just don't like that trope in movies. It's not, I don't know, not a character I enjoy watching.
Either. Normally, this is one of the few cases where I liked it, because in most movies, I do not like it at all.
I liked him right away, but it wasn't like an Ashton Kutcher character or anything.
Yeah.
No.
See, yeah.
He's a good stone character.
This was stoned people doing smart things, so I was actually okay with this. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's one of those few. It was one of those few cases where I actually really like the stoner character in a movie. Because I don't normally. They normally really irritate me in things, but this movie, it works for me.
I feel like for him, he was more lucid when he was high than maybe when he wasn't high. Probably.
That makes it. Yeah. That's a decent point. Yeah. Maybe that's upbringing. I've never done no smoked pot or anything like that. Never did any weed or anything like that. So I've been at many of these parties where everyone's high and I'm the only person who's not. And just realizing this is not fun. Like I don't.
No, same with drinking.
It's so not fun. Yeah, drinking the same thing. Yeah, trust me. I don't talk to people anymore.
It's not. I mean, I had a lot of times I'll hang out with Tiff and her friends, and they'll all be drunk, and I'll be the sober cab because I'm cheap. And I'm just like.
He won't let me Uber home, so he's like, "No, I'll come with."
Well, next time I'm just bring the Steam Deck. You have all the fun you want. I'll just play. I'll just play Vampire Survivors.
And then I yell at him for being antisocial.
That's usually when I bring up the laptop and start editing a podcast in the middle of random places.
That is too funny.
I've done it multiple times. Then I move away. Like, hey, work gotta get done. So this is around the time that Thor runs back to the cabin. You have Dana making out with the athlete, we're going to say now, per Ken's theory.
The sexy.
And this is when the zombie tosses the head in. And I think this is, they're like, how do you know she's dead? There's the head. She's dead, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I'm not leaving without Jules. And then he throws that.
I think it's great. Here you go. Here's Jules.
Here's Jules. We can leave now.
Bye, take her here.
Take her.
Oh, and then I like how they're like, we shouldn't split up. We got to go together. And they pump the gas in the room. We should split up.
And the owner's like, wait, what? What just happened?
Oh, that's when he finds the cord around that part. And this is also when you have all the doors get locked.
Yeah, locked in the room.
And you get Bill's favorite part when the stoner got dragged off to get killed.
Yeah.
That's a classic scene where somebody busts through the window and drakes somebody.
Oh, God have it. And it was telegraphed so beautifully. I mean, it was telegraphed perfectly. Like, again, if you've seen any of these sort of movies, you know when those beats are happening, but it didn't make it any less fun. It's, again, had a very comfort food feeling for me. And I love the idea of them manipulating through gases and hair dyes and such, because that lends credence to us at home always saying, why are you doing this stupid thing? Please do the smart thing and don't do this thing. And then, again, this is kind of subverting that expectation and explaining, well, we kind of tell them to do that or we influence them. I thought, again, really all this kind of meta stuff really worked very much so for me.
I like the idea that it's making them stupider. Like, that's the whole idea. Yeah, otherwise, if you didn't have this, they might not be dumb enough. They'll actually do what they should be doing and leave.
Yeah, because like you said, Thor is the scholar. He would have figured it out and had them out there.
Yeah.
Out of there, alive. Probably.
I like that. I really like that idea now, Kenneth. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with that.
Too. Let's go with that.
We glossed over the best part of this movie, though.
Uh-oh.
Which is?
When Dana is reading Patience's diary as she mentions the phrase, when he cuts the flesh, he gets a husband's bulge. And
You're right.
when
They all looked
Holden
at each other.
and
I
Gina
was like,
are making out, and Marty walks past, he's just like, hey, he's got a husband bulge.
I didn't catch that. That's funny.
And that I still use the phrase husband bulge throughout my life.
in my some of my research, looking around and clicking around and finding Reddit posts, every single Reddit thread has someone mentioning the husband's bulge. So it's a wonderful moment. Like, it's really, really funny.
I forgot about that.
Hashtag iconic. Yeah.
and then they jump into the cellar to get out because they find the trap door. And I like how she's like, this is the torture room, the black room, or something from the diary. And then what I was wondering to myself is if they would have found something else, like, this room wouldn't have fit. But then again, maybe it would have been like, if it was the mer people, they'd have been, hurry to go out in the water. Then I think that would have been the end of them real fast.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming mer people in water is instant death. Pretty sure.
I don't know. Would there have been more than one murder?
Oh God, I'm sure. It wouldn't just be. It said merman, I think, not merman.
I don't remember. I don't remember
either. But I feel like it wouldn't be just one.
It would be over very fast. Natural habitat.
I feel like the Buckners are one of the weakest things they could have gotten when you eventually see everything that's in there, because there's just a few zombies, and zombies really. I mean, yes, they're not exactly zombies because they're more alive and they're more vicious. They're not just dumb wandling creatures, but wobbling. I don't know. Wombling's not a word. Waddling. Let's go with waddling. It just isn't. I don't know. Zombies are the threat with zombies is that when you have them in a pack and you have so many that you get overwhelmed. Not just, but the fact. I mean, if they would have gotten some of the other stuff that you see, like the Hellraiser guy, I bet he would have been a whole lot worse. There's some of the other things that you see in here.
That would have been fun. The Hellraiser guy.
I think giant serpent would have been 3 seconds.
They wouldn't have survived other stuff. Well, they don't have a shotgun. You need a shotgun to beat the giant serpent when you go and grab the mask in the back in the cabin.
But it would have been harder to manipulate things, right? So if you had like the murder serpent, it would have just ran amok. Like, you'd have had a very hard time getting them in order as they need to be. So, I mean, either way, I agree. Though I also think the murder family is way more sentient than a zombie. A zombie implies shambling, running after you. These people are shambling, but I think
Purpose.
there is intentionality to their movements. I just said that way too flowery for a bunch of murderous people who throw bear traps.
But you're right.
Traps on strings.
I mean, you see the zombies in this movie at one point. I mean, they're just zombies, and all I could think of was Resident Evil.
They're more cognitive. I don't think that's the word I want. However,
that's fair. Yeah, cognitive's good. Yeah.
Yeah, they have an idea what they're doing. I mean, they know what they're up to.
I'm a working memory care. Can you tell?
So I mean, I think it fits. I mean, they're more intelligent than a wandering zombie that's just trying to fill his stomach so it can fall out.
Like, they know enough to throw the bear trap.
Yes.
Throw the bear trap.
And speaking of that, that's how they kill the other guy. Is they catch him with the bear trap? Or does he? No, he doesn't die at this point. But he gets hit with the bear trap.
Yeah.
The black guy. I can't remember his name. Holden. When they're in the cellar,
right.
When Dana just goes crazy and stabs the zombie guy a whole bunch of time and actually like almost kills him again.
I feel like that bear trap should have done more damage than it was doing.
Oh God, yes.
Nothing.
Throw a bear trap
Yeah.
into somebody's back, and I think they're fucked.
Barely bleeding, and he was walking around. Oh, my shoulder!
Yep.
I'm okay. Let's go.
That again, I have to think that was intentional. Again, another one of those little tropes where even though they're brutalized and thrown around and bear traps in their back, everyone's just walking around just fine. We'll just escape to the. Or just spray blood on my face. It's fine, and we'll just continue on as if nothing happened. So again, I think that was an intentional kind of subversion, like a nod to that sort of slasher film.
Yeah, I mean, and then they do the smart thing where they get in the RV to try to drive back to the cabin, or not away from the cabin and get through the tunnel. And I really like this part because this kind of starts to show you that if you didn't, for me, who already kind of knew that Stoner didn't die, because they're like, why we didn't get the call to blow the tunnel, we didn't get the message because he's already starting to fuck with the wires. Except I don't know how fucking one wires in one spot fucked everything up, but you can tell that it's just kind of foreshadow what's coming soon.
Right.
That's how I took it.
Well, the tunnel doesn't fall because there was a breach, and you find out later that there was like something was going wrong upstairs with the electrical.
Oh, you don't think it? You think it was a Stoner, or do you think it was something else?
It was Marty, 100%.
Okay.
Because he had already found the room.
Yeah, he was already ripping up stuff and trying to.
And that's why he needed to jump in the grave. I think it was interesting because when I was watching it, I just took it as Demolition screwed up. Right? I just feel like, and then he ran in. They're like, "Oh, we're having problems. We never got the call." Right? He kept saying, "We never got the call. Like, you gotta let us know." And he's more, concerned, of course, just getting anything blown up. When this was happening, were you rooting? I hope. Were you rooting for the kids to get out of there, or are you rooting for that thing to blow up?
I wanted the thing to blow up.
Oh man.
Of course, everyone should be saying you're rooting for that thing to blow up so we can keep having a good time. But yeah, again,
I knew that they still wouldn't make it out, so I didn't want it to blow up because I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah, and you kind of figure. I mean, we're film goers. 45 minutes into the movie. That's not a 45-minute movie. No. So obviously that's kind of where it was going. But I think that was a really fun trick. And then you find out, of course, that it was Marty behind the sabotage. Who knows? Movie, it's fine. Unless Ken has a scholarly opinion on it. Maybe, I don't know. I may have missed something in this.
Let us know. Hit us, Ken.
Have fun with it. It's a fun movie.
Just have fun with it.
I love that. That's great. Yes, exactly. It's fine.
God.
I agree.
Like, there's always room for scholarly analysis and everything. I agree. But just fucking have fun sometimes, everybody.
I agree. I know.
I did. And this is the one. This is where the scene comes up that we talked about earlier, where you see Japan, where you see the girls that were earlier in the school trying to break free, but now they're all holding hands, singing a hymn.
I was so confused. The light, I was like, wait, is this Ghostbusters? What's happening right now?
Who are you going to call? Japanese schoolgirls, apparently.
Yeah.
And he turns into a frog, and he's going to have a good life. The spirit is free.
Yeah, they're all dead. That's like, yeah, you just ruined the world by turning that into a frog, girls. Like, it's all over now. I know. They never will. I want to know where
they learned this incantation from. Like, is this something their great-grandmother, you need to learn this in case an evil spirit comes after you?
I can believe that. 'Cause, I mean, look, we all share the myth that silver kills werewolves and garlic with vampires. I mean, yes, it's in our movies and our fiction, but even before that, it was something that was passed around.
Be in the Japanese fiction.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it's the ghost was probably a myth or a legend.
Yeah, like I know The Grudge is, which they made the movies of here, is based on all Japanese myth and stuff.
Don't get me started on The Grudge.
Oh no!
Another day.
That's my very favorite franchise of all time. I own all the movies, all the Japanese and American movies. So
I'm down.
Anyway,
I am not.
Bring this up is Japan is a more inherently spiritual culture than we are.
Yes.
So the idea of ghosts and gods and whatnot, that's normal culture to them. So it's very possible that they all did know this from, maybe it's like a nursery rhyme or something that they learned growing up.
I never thought of that. To keep the evil spirits away. That's a good point.
When you look at Ring Around the Rosie, pockets full of posies.
Oh, Jesus
Black
Christ.
Death.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Ashes, we all fall down.
Ruin my childhood.
That's okay. I thought you would have known.
Get the hell out of here.
I can't.
No,
myself.
I think of that with an innocent mind. I'm not so cynical like you are.
Yes,
There's nothing cynical about it.
I'm a cynical bastard. She's the kind-hearted one. I'm not.
I take care of
the asshole.
people and wipe their butts.
So, and this is. I also got a kick out when Thor decides he gets on the dirt bike on the back of the RV. He's like, okay, I'm going to jump over the cliff and I'm going to get us help. I'm going to get the police. I'm going to get helicopters. We're going to get help.
I was rooting for him. I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was like, he can make it.
And earlier in this movie, which we didn't mention, there's a small scene where you see a hawk fly into the force field and die.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this is where he makes a jump, hits the force field, and just boom.
He splatters.
It's great.
Like a bug against a windshield.
This is one of my favorite parts of this movie. Because there's so much going on here. It's, again, very classic, slasher film. The speech that he gives, that Chris Hemsworth gives, and again, I can't remember his name. I apologize. I'm not trying to. Kurt, thank you. The speech Kurt gives about he's gonna make it if I have to bring some big fucking guns here. Yeah, the whole thing is so great because it's seeped in cheese. Like the whole thing is covered in so much cheese. It's just delicious.
Oh.
And then when he hits that barrier, I jumped. I don't know what I was expecting. I figured he wasn't going to make it. I don't know how. And then when he hits that and
feel
falls,
like
I'm like, this is, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think the best part of that scene is how the camera keeps going. Like it didn't expect him to hit it either.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wow. I need to watch it again. I did not pick up on that.
No, me.
Oh, that's so good.
It doesn't go far, but like he does, like it kind of goes past where he hits.
Oh, that's great.
And-
Where he was supposed to land, but he didn't.
Yeah, like it. Just fun little things like that. This movie knows what it's doing.
Yeah, it knows. That's a good way of putting it. It knows exactly what it's doing, and that's why it works so well. Yeah, that whole scene is just great. The fact he has a motorcycle with him, and it's just so good.
And then when they drive away in the RV and they're just like, okay, we're just gonna drive through the forest. We're just gonna keep driving till we can get out of here. And then he gets all of a sudden there's a redneck hillbilly in the back of the car, just come back of the RV and just stabs him through the neck.
That was there probably the whole time and didn't attack them until now. Just decided to chillax and wait his time.
Oh yeah, he climbed into the back of it while they were trying to jump it, and then he just waited.
Well, I mean, you saw the bloody handprint.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You do.
Yeah. As you're going in, you see a bloody handprint on the door, so you know he's there if you saw it.
Okay, maybe you should, when you get an RV, check the back of the RV.
But then why did he wait the whole time to attack them?
It was more climatic that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, all right, wait for the perfect time, make the scene count. My one shot in this movie.
I like the shot
the
with
boats.
the knife through his throat, though.
You would. I'm sure Bill did too.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, it was great. I clapped.
It was great.
And then the RV, I like when the RV crashes in the lake, and then she swims out. And I think this is a really good part where when Dana gets to the pier, and you have the office just celebrating, like, yeah, we did it. Everybody's killed but her, the virgin. And at the same time, you have the zombie shows up and just start beating the shit out of her in the background, and just the juxtaposition of the two things happening, where you have the cheering office workers and you have this girl, being tortured to death, essentially. It's jarring, but very interesting.
I had go ahead, Kevin. Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I was unsettled by this. I kind of got what they were doing, and I again do like the juxtaposition of the two things occurring. The notion again, this is just a job, and the subtext of not even the subtext, really the text of, hey, we've survived the apocalypse again, yay! Right, like, and it's an office party. You have someone hitting on a fellow coworker. I have these 2 tickets to the ballet, and then she just walks away, and the intern's like, I'm an intern. Just all the trappings of an, are we going to get OT for this? Talk to accounting. Like all of those beats of, again, boring, terrible office parties, which I'm glad the pandemic has basically eradicated from my life. Fantastic. Great. No one meets up anymore. We're all remote.
Wonderful. Remote is wonderful.
Fantastic. So good. But anyway, even like I as a human, as a human being with a heart that feels for people, it was very unsettling, them cheering and clinking glasses as this demon is just beating the hell out of our heroine. And so it was a little unsettling for me. I'm sure that was on purpose. I don't know if that was intended to play as a joke or intended to be as unsettling as it was. Because there are little moments in the control room where you can tell that humanity seeps into our 2 friends there. Like there'll be a long look at something, or like an aversion to the eyes. Like there's beats of that throughout, which I think is good, or else they just be kind of like cartoon characters. So for me, it was a weird one to sit through, but it was still very, very well done.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's on purpose to be unsettling, to kind of pick on you. As I'm assuming that's what they were going for, and that's what I thought was so cool about it, is that it's just that a juxtaposition. It really kind of hit me like, okay, this is terrible, and it also reminded me, for some reason, of one of the Freddy vs. Jason movies. For some reason, came through my head.
Why?
I don't know. I got nothing, but I don't see many horror movies, and that's one I've seen. I feel like he fights Freddy on a pier at one point.
Yeah, he does at the end.
I didn't like those movies. So.
It's okay. It's an okay movie. And then this is when you have the red phone starts ringing during the celebration because they're like, everybody's not dead, guys. Like, the fool's still alive. You guys failed.
He followed it by protocol. What do you mean?
And then you find out Marty's still alive. Because Marty comes and saves Dana.
And beats the hell out of the tortured dad with the bong.
That was my favorite part.
That's just great.
That's a strong bong. And speaking of like gross things happening, I think we might have papered over it. We don't have to go back too much. I just love the fact that when Holden's being held aloft by the zombie, and she pulls down the zombie and just starts stabbing him with like the crowbar and just blorp blorp blorp, and then puts it, I think, through his eye. I think. Yeah. My wife glanced over and saw blorp, blorp, blorp. She kind of went, and then she kind of just shook her head and returned back to whatever she was doing on her computer. So it was a pretty good moment. Again, nice and glorpy, nice and gross. It was fun. I had a good time with that one. So,
I like the zombie blood. It was good.
And this is where the movie leads into my favorite part. I really like the last chapter of this movie. I think that, to me, was the best because it fit. It also really, really reminded me of Resident Evil 2 when they go into Umbrella Labs, essentially. Because, like, that's just what I thought. Like, okay, so this is when they go into the tunnel. They're pulling out the wires. Marty's put all together. There's a whole setup that what they're doing. And when they take the elevator down, and they're in this cube, and all of a sudden they see all these other cubes with monsters in them, and they start realizing that, because she sees the guy holding essentially the little circle thing puzzle, and she's like, we choose what kills us. We were the ones that, it was all in motion of this game that we're playing. I think it's just so cool to see all these rotating cubes of what could have been, and all these monsters that you would believe are myth are all real. Oh, I really, really like this part. And how much they fuck up this part too. Oh,
this completely ruined it. And the designs of these monsters and creatures and demons are really cool. Like, they're really good. A few of them are kind of questionable CGI. Again, it was that era, and we were still a transitional era of CGI. But for the most part, the effects are really good. We haven't gotten to where things just completely just go to hell.
We're almost there.
We'll get there though.
That's the best part.
Everyone's just waiting for that.
And this is like when they send one security guard to meet him in the elevator. One, like, you see they have a whole team of people down there. You send one guy. Like, wouldn't maybe it'd be smart to send a couple guys, like, as a backup plan? Like, the whole world is depending on. We're gonna send Mark down here. Mark, you go down there. You got this, right? Yeah, I got this. Like, where's the rest of the crew? Like, nope, just Mark.
I can handle the fool and the virgin. Are you?
Yeah, sure he did. Who you grabbed by a zombie hand, and it doesn't work out so well for him.
Way to go, zombie hand. Thanks.
And also the whole idea that they get into one control room, a little control room off to the side, and this room overrides the main control room, like everything. Like they kill everybody in this building because they're in one room. I'm like, that is not very good safety protocol, guys. Come on now. That's what went through my head. Like, how do you have one little room that can do all that when they're not even in the main control room?
And it's just one big red button that probably had text on it. Open all. And I gotta ask, do you think, because I love the zombie hand that takes care of the guard, kind of like walks over a little bit like Thing and then goes on his face. Could that possibly have been
what was it trying to do after? Like, what was the
I wish I knew. I want to see all of that. Can you linger there? Of course, we're insane people. I really
you both are, yes.
I really wish that was like a halfway Reanimator reference, because isn't there a moment in Reanimator where the arm does something in the elevator?
Because of you, I realized that Reanimator is a much bigger thing. Like, okay, I was going to bring this up. I forgot to bring this up earlier, which you will hear later this week from listeners. In Silent Hill 4, you go to a fridge and you find a dead cat in a fridge. And there's a note on the cat, and apparently there's a note somewhere else that talks about why the cat is in the fridge. And all that went through my head was Reanimator, and I'm positive it was a Reanimator reference.
It has to be.
And it's just like, that movie.
It's bigger than you think.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
I've never heard of it, but it's bigger than.
Yeah, it's a well-known movie that I unfortunately saw.
Hey.
I don't like horror.
Don't you ever say an unkind word about Reanimator.
Go listen to my episode. Go listen to the episode.
No, I don't want to.
He said lots of unkind words.
I say I drown out his unkind words with just praise and adoration for that wonderful movie.
What do you expect me to do? Leave a note saying cat dead in fridge, talk later after work? What?
That might have been helpful. Right?
I love that line so much.
Next time, get a pen, Mr. West. Anyway, sorry.
So
we want to do another Reanimator episode?
No. And then the SWAT team shows up when they're and like how the SWAT team is going to pretty much shoot them all. I mean, I call them the SWAT team. We're going to just shoot them and kill them, both of them, after they kill the stoner first. And then they open all the cages, like you were saying, with the button. And I think that's just such a great scene where they hear the light go and like, oh shit, because they know exactly what's about to happen, and they just get massacred. And another group shows up, finds all the dead bodies, and then they get massacred too. And it's just
Wouldn't you see dead bodies once you run?
My ass would run the other way.
Instead of like,
or I'd wait in the hallway. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to stand here where the cells are going to open. Let's see what happens.
I'm going to figure out what killed these people.
Oh, you will. And this is where you see the dumb zombies being stupid zombies because they're just like eating the guy and not even paying attention to the redhead and stoner at all. But it's such a good scene. It's just, I really love when the monsters come out and they're just running through this building, killing everybody in the office. And it's sad. I mean, like, one of the saddest part for me, we haven't mentioned, but Amy Acker's in this movie who played Fred in Angel.
Oh,
and I really like, and she's also in Dollhouse. I really like that actress. And she gets killed near the end of this movie. She gets grabbed by a snake or something, and she disappears. That's went through my head. But
Fred.
The other part that really got me too. Again, this at this point when they hit the red button, we now turn into Looney Tunes cartoon violence, and it's glorious. And the only one that really got me that was actually a little scary, not even scary, but just a little like, ugh, was the one worker who shoots herself in the head, who just blows her brains out as opposed to being gnawed to death. That one got me. That one kind of caught me, not as fun. It was like,
because it's realistic. I mean, I can tell you if I feel like I was ever in a situation like that, that's what's going to go through my head. Like, it's time to leave.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
You would just leave me, wouldn't you?
You got to check out in that situation. Like,
What?
example, Resident Evil Apocalypse. When the dumb guy is shooting the zombies, I mean, why waste bullets on zombies? Just shoot your own head. You're stranded on the ground. You ain't going anywhere. So, I don't know. That's just always been my thing. If you're about to get eaten or murdered by something, just put a bullet in the head.
What's everyone's favorite demise in this? Because there's lots going on here, and I'm trying to remember all the beats. Ken, do you have like a favorite moment of this slaughterhouse that this office, this facility becomes?
There's so many good ones.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, there's the dismemberment goblins. There's the dragon bat. Like, there's the dolls. I love the dolls. The dolls make me happy.
There's
Mine's the
the
merman.
ones with like the porcelain masks. Ones.
Yes, that one is scary to me.
I love
that's so real. That feels so realistic. It feels like a reference to Manson to me. But I know they don't wear masks, which is that's what it made me think
the
of.
strangers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's what it was. I couldn't think of what the movie was, but I knew it was a reference to something.
Never saw that. Never
Neither
going
did
to.
I still recognize the mask.
I don't need
You
to.
should. The doctors were
We'll cover
creepy.
that one next.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the doctors were terrifying because it was all like slow and murderous, if I remember correctly. Like, ugh,
Yeah.
really, really rough. I love, from a design perspective, I don't think we ever see a kill from her, but the little ballerina with the 18 rows of teeth in her face.
Yeah, we don't see her
Oh,
killed.
Anything with 18 rows of teeth in their face, I'm super here
But
for.
she's just,
I
like,
love
dancing
rows of teeth.
around, all elegant.
I felt bad for the office people. They're just doing their job, and they all just got murdered in terrible ways too. Like,
I like the
And
merman. The merman was my favorite.
that's a great.
Merman's great. Merman's great. It's a great payoff to a joke. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
'cause the guy finally, he's like, oh, he wants to see the merman, and then he's on the ground, and then a merman's walking up. He's like,
Come on.
yeah, and then he just gets killed by the merman.
That was a pretty gruesome looking merman too. I mean,
Yeah, it was. What were you gonna say,
I
Ken?
think I gotta go with the dolls. I think the dolls are my favorite kill.
Okay.
When they were, duct taping people up and throwing.
It
Yeah,
bothered
like-
me. I didn't like it.
You're thinking of the dog.
Did you guys catch the Left 4 Dead monsters?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, like the tank, the hunter, the witch from Left 4 Dead. They're all in the cubes.
Oh, I did not. Okay, that's cool. I did not catch that.
I didn't.
Left 4 Dead's a game.
Oh, sorry. That's
There was
why.
supposed
Yes.
to be a crossover with Left 4 Dead 2, but the studio ran into problems. Womp womp.
Okay. And then after they finally escape everything, they end up in the sacrificial chamber. And I think, and this is when Sigourney Weaver finally shows up, because earlier, before we watched this movie, Tiffany was looking up the cast, like, oh, Sigourney Weaver's in this. She's the director. And then they finally get to it.
The director was a character.
Yes,
not like the actual director.
I mean, I wonder how much she got paid just to show up at the end of this movie, because she really doesn't have much.
No, she's got like a 5.
Well, it works. It works really good, I think. I like the fact that she shows up and she's the one in charge of this whole building, and she starts to explain everything and how it works. And you even have Dana pull a gun on Marty, and she's about to shoot him, and she doesn't because she gets attacked by a werewolf. But I was thinking to myself, like, if I was Marty, I think I might have just shot myself and be like, oh, okay, if the world is going to end, then I'm going to take my own life to save other people I love. So
I'll shoot you.
Okay. If the world's going to end, the giant god is going to come out of the ground and everyone's going to die, shoot me. You have my permission.
But it's hard to, yeah, I know it, but it's a hard thing to say when you're not in the giant hypothetical situation. But I think humanity kicks in, like your survival instinct is going to kick in. I can imagine your body would have a very hard time letting you do that. Just due to instincts, right? But yeah, he is not worried about instincts. He wants to see the whole thing burn, because he already discussed that an hour ago when he's talking about, yeah, it's all gotta go, man. Standard stoner talk, like, yeah, dude, And he's already established that he's anti the man. So I think he made like an active choice, like, no, screw it. We're all going down together. And yeah, I love seeing Sigourney Weaver in things. I couldn't help but think of Finding Dory for some weird reason. Why? Because I have children, and she does the voice of like these Marine Institute, and she actually says, "This is Sigourney Weaver, Marine Life Institute in San Fernando Bay, or whatever it is." So I just have a hard time separating her. The woman who did Alien and Aliens, right? Iconic. #
Alien 3.
Alien 3. I know her from Finding Dory. So, because children ruin your brain, and they insert things that just don't need to be there. So,
and then they have the Buckner girl, the one with missing an arm, who's been following them this whole time, ends up in the sacrificial chamber, and Sigourney's choking Marty, and then she stabs Sigourney Weaver, and then they kick him into the hole in the ground where the god is waiting. It's such a good payoff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, this movie has such good payoffs.
Yeah, it's nothing but really everything pays off really well. There's not many losing hands, and at the very end they sit on the steps and they smoke a joint together and await the end of the world. And sure enough, crumble, 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 and then giant god hand explodes from the earth and credits. And yep, that's exactly how this movie should end. And I was very, very happy. I really enjoyed it.
Same.
God, Marty, piece of shit.
What?
He's like, what?
No, Marty's just a piece of shit.
Oh, he sucks. Oh no, he's the worst. And you know what, Marty? Now that I'm thinking it through after having this lovely conversation, you know what? You have not ruined the stoner character. You've not fixed the stoner character for me, because you still suck. Even though you were doing smart things and trying to escape and do that sort of thing, at the end of the day, you still sucked. Now, I'm not saying people who, oh God, I feel like a tap dancer and everything in my life. I'm not saying those who enjoy weed or enjoy any of that stuff are inherently dumb or anything like that. Feel free to chew your edibles there, Mike Albertin, whatever else you do. But this character trope always sucks. This trope sucks. And he did not change my opinion of the character trope. So I will stand behind my statement.
Okay.
Part of the problem is just Marty's selfish.
Right.
Yeah.
He's choosing to end the world.
Right.
Like, that is an active choice that he is making.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fuck him.
Yeah. He could have easily, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but because with the names here, Dana, I think that's right. Doesn't Dana have her gun pointed at him? Like, she's about to shoot him. Now, mind you, again, taking a human life is a hard thing to do for, quote unquote, normal people, right? Like, she's not equipped to do this, but he could have very easily walked to the side of the ledge and said, shoot me or punch me or have that kind of thing. But like to your point, can be selfless. Say, look, the world does not need to end because of me, right? Or let Sigourney Weaver take care of it. She was more than ready to just take care of it, fix the problem.
And he's
then
a bad friend.
Yes.
He lets Dana get attacked by the werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing is, like, if he would have died, then Dana would have lived, not to mention everybody else, but instead, we all die. It's like, well, you know what? If I gotta die, everyone's gonna die with me. Like, I don't like that thinking.
He wanted a reset, he said.
I don't think the hand came out to reset.
I don't think that's how it was gonna work.
No,
I think it's game over. Game over, man.
Game over, man.
I love that movie. And that line. God. Oh, such a good line. All right.
Yeah.
Any last thing to say about the movie before we go on to shelf stacker box?
There is some uncommon moments of just absolute beauty in this movie. The scene where Dana is swimming up out of the water from the RV after it crashed. Absolutely a beautiful scene. The first entry into the sacrifice chamber with Sigourney Weaver just standing there. Beautiful. The way that the system purge is choreographed. Absolutely fantastic. Like, there is some very awesome technical display on here. I know we've been talking a lot of shit about, oh, this movie's dopey and fun and, but there's a very good deal of technical display or technical skill on display here. Like, you should watch it to at least admire the level of work that was put into this movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of craft. This is a very well crafted movie, and even if I definitely I think in the midst of it, and again I'm watching it with other people and we're having fun. We're typing comments, right? I actually felt like I was seeing it in a mini theater style setting with other people. Of course, we wouldn't be talking during a movie, but so I think I a lot of that kind of probably glazed over me, Ken, and I can totally see what you're saying, especially the water stuff. I think it was really really well done. But this is an extremely well-crafted movie. Even if it's just from the script, from how carefully they put all the pieces together. If for a movie like this to work, and I think I'm just going to repeat what I said at the open, it has to do both things well. It has to be if you're going to be a pastiche of a genre, you better be good at that genre, right? Make a good genre movie, and this movie does. They make a good genre movie, and they make a good satire. And it comes together in this very, very clever way with all these meta things and references. So I agree with you. I think this is a very well-crafted film, even if some of the more visual kind of splendor was a bit lost on me this time around.
Okay. All right. Let's go to shelf stacker box, and I'll go first. I'm going to put this in the shelf. I enjoyed this movie in 2012, and I enjoyed this movie in 2022, and I was surprised.
You enjoyed it when you first saw it?
Yeah, I did. This is one of the movies that stuck with me. I don't like horror movies, I know, and this is one I like.
Wow, that shocked me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it then. I still enjoy it now. I'm so glad that I'm also glad I introduced two people who love horror movies to a new movie they never saw before. That just makes me feel so good, because that's not what I expected from either of you. So
bringing people together, Mike Albertin.
Hey, that's honestly what I do with this podcast.
Through gore and murder.
That's right. Or through zombies, horror, murder, and death. That's how we unite.
What about you, Bill?
Oh man, this is a shelf as well. I kind of basically stated my thesis earlier, but I loved it and I want to see it again. And I want to so here's kind of I guess the coda to that. When I was rewatching the beginning, because I missed the beginning when I tuned in to the Discord channel, I was rewatching it, and then I just kept watching it after the time I had jumped in. I just kept watching it again, and then I'm like, oh no, it's 12:30. I do need to sleep because I'm a human being. I need to stop this and go to sleep. But that's a kind of a testament to a good movie, where if it was something I didn't like, I would say, all right, here's where I'm done. Boom, wrote my notes. Good night. But this one, I just kept on rolling with it. And that's a sign of a good movie and something well made. So instant shelf for me. I had a blast.
All right. And what about you, Tiffany?
Shelf. Definitely shelf. I can see myself watching it whenever. I would definitely watch it again right now.
Now we own it on Amazon, too.
I made him buy it.
It was okay. It was only $5 on Amazon. So that was nice. I
made him buy it so we could have it. If not, I probably would have bought the hard copy. So.
Yeah, I looked it up and it was cheaper to buy it that way. So, what about you, Ken?
I'm going to put this one in the stack.
What?
Because that's where it currently is right now. It is in my Blu-ray stack. Like, it's not a movie that I watch often. I'll go back to it if there's a reason to. But This is one I feel like, because it's, it's not really easy for me to separate the art from the artist in this one, especially when the main character of Dana starts out the movie in a power struggle that is so reflective of Mr. Whedon's inappropriate relationships during his period as a showrunner. This movie has some gross stuff in it, and it makes me feel not great. So will I watch it again? Sure. But I don't know. I can't feel like I used to feel about this movie anymore. And it bumps me out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's really valid. I think that's really valid. Separating the art from the artist, I think, is a personal choice for everybody to make. And I think, again, in my estimation, I don't know if I knew it was a Joss Whedon joint until after I was done. And I'm not trying to excuse the fact that I enjoy this movie. I think I still would, even knowing that, but I would agree with you, like, probably less, but I respect that you're able to say, you know what, I can't. I have a very hard time watching Kevin Spacey stuff. I like The Usual Suspects, but I'm probably not going to watch it again. I was watching House of Cards and I stopped because I can't. I personally can't. And that's just a choice I made. So I think that's a good note for those who like this movie, but even maybe feeling a little guilty, like, God dang it. Why is Joss Whedon have to be involved? Drew Goddard, could you just be the person? That's it. Can we just look at you, not look at the other guy? But yeah, so I respect that opinion. I'm glad you brought that up because I think a lot of people will identify with that because that isn't a consideration, unfortunately, for a movie that on its face is still very well made and very well done. It just sucks. That's why I say screw those.
Sometimes it's hard to do that. I mean, I don't usually let it affect me, but it just, when you kind of know it, you can see stuff. So I completely get it. I also haven't watched anything Kevin Spacey since it turned out that he was, bad. So
same. I haven't either. I really like Kevin Spacey as well.
Yeah, I probably will at some point, but I have not yet. But yeah. All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can check out all our other content. There's over 400 episodes or close to it at this point. Almost there. So you have to go through our giant catalog. You can find everything on Podbean. And you also should listen to Bill Tucker Show, A Gamer Looks at 40, where he interviews people, how video games affect their life. And he's currently doing Zelda right now, right?
Yes, currently doing Zelda. Yeah, it's lots and lots of Zelda, but it's been a fun ride, and it'll go until probably well past the new year at this point.
Okay,
there's no way it's not going.
Hey, well, if you need more Zelda, you know where to find me.
I know where you are, sir. It's going all the way to Breath of the Wild, so we're rolling on through.
I am going to play Breath of the Wild now that I can. At some point, is going to be on my Steam Deck. I'm going to play it that way.
He never finished it. He pushed out.
I will on the Steam Deck because I will have save states on the Steam Deck. I was going to download the Wii U copy because I own the copy of the Wii U somewhere. So I don't feel like a...
Oh, God.
But okay, that's not why you're here. And I want to give a shout out to our awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Hashfree. You can follow her on TikTok. And please, we have a Patreon. We want to help out the show. And that's how this episode came to be. We have, for Little Star, you can go vote in our Patreon poll. Right now is a Resident Evil poll, Resident Evil TV show, the Netflix series, Infinite Darkness, Extinction, or Damnation, the second animated movie. So go vote for Little Dog. You still have a very little bit of time left. You have a little bit of time. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. And we have a Discord. You can join our Discord and chat with us. I think that's everything we need to say. So we will see you guys until next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Matt.
So long.